live here from New Beginnings at our IFCO booth, and my name is Bryn Gillow, and I'm co-hosting here together with Frank Hahn. And now we're going to be talking with Dr. Jillian Kersh. If you want to interact with us, please do so on Twitter, #IFCO. Dr. Hahn is doing that right now. And you can always watch us live on IFCOChiro.org/live, so you can see everything that's happening here today, our entire lineup of speakers, and be sure to send in your questions and comments over Twitter, #IFCO. So now we're here with Dr. Jillian Kersh, the newest roar director at Sherman College. So Jillian, tell us first a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I actually graduated from Sherman in 2009. I am originally from Michigan and moved to South Carolina to go to school. I then decided to do an associateship, and it just happened to be with Dr. Bryn, which was a fantastic 2 years. I had a great experience there, adjusted tons of people, and it really was anything that I could have ever hoped for. Pennsylvania weather is a little cold, so I decided to move back to South Carolina, and this opportunity came up at Sherman. And it was just one of those things that speaks to you, and you're like, I think I need to do this. I wanted to impact the profession in a different way, and now I'm doing that by recruiting people who would be great chiropractors.
So tell us about ROAR. What does ROAR stand for? What does ROAR mean?
Right. Well, ROAR is a program that we have in the admissions department at Sherman, and it stands for Reach Out and Recruit.
ROAR, yes.
Yes, so because we have lions as our mascot, roar, that's where we get that. So we have about 200 doctors across the world. Actually, we have Singapore. 200.
That's fantastic. I did not know it was such a big program.
I know.
Very
it's
cool.
Grown fantastically. And then...
Thank you guys. Sherman College, IFCO in the house.
And actually, that is Anna Elkins, one of my ROAR student members.
Yep, absolutely. I know Anna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here they come again. They're surrounding us.
Yes.
High five! High five! High five!
High five!
So our program I coordinate all of those doctors going out and helping us do recruiting efforts. They'll do that by going to colleges and universities, speaking at different classes that we have connections for. They'll do graduate fairs. They'll host a career night in our office, which we just had at your office 2 nights ago, and it was fantastic that Dr. Cordero was able to come and speak to the prospective students. And basically those people just support Sherman, not necessarily with their money, but by sending students to us and really growing the profession, and that's what we're trying to do.
So what can the individual chiropractors in their office do to encourage students, so encourage young people or even older people to become chiropractors? What is the best techniques that people have found? What's the best way of doing this?
It depends on the person, to be quite honest, but a lot of times you know what it takes to be a chiropractor. You know that it takes, you want to help people, and you just want to do that so badly, and you see that in your patients because they're the ones coming to you, they're the ones talking to you, and so even just casually over time, that's when I think is the best. Not just, hey, you should do this, let's just do this, and a lot of times it takes people a while to shift their paradigms, and so just casually mentioning to them, you'd be really great at this, and we have different opportunities for them to come down to Sherman and check it all out and see if chiropractic is for them. So that's really the best way, is just kind of gradually get them into it.
One of the ways I know that's a good way for a student to see the school is at Lyceum, right? What's going on there?
At Lyceum, we're inviting all of the prospective students to come for the weekend. So Thursday the 23rd, Friday the 24th, and Saturday the 25th of May. The big event for the students is going to be on Saturday the 25th. We call it Career Day. And the students are going to tour the school. They're going to talk to current students. They'll talk to alumni. They'll listen to some of the great speakers underneath the big top. They'll go to the social events that we have at night with the live band and the banquet, just to see what life is like at Sherman. And that's the most that's the most exciting time to be on campus. The energy is infectious, and you just fall in love with everything when you're there. So we're inviting all of those students to come. if they are a Roar referred student, so if you sign up for the Roar program, they will get a travel voucher worth up to $300.
Wow. That's awesome,
I know.
right?
Yep.
To come and travel to Sherman
That covers
and
everything.
attend them. If you fly, if you find a good flight, then it definitely will cover that.
I know for years I've been a Roar doc, and I've been bringing students down to Lyceum, and so they get these vouchers, and that covers their flight, and then Sherman puts them up in a hotel room.
Yeah, we'll pay for their hotel room too.
For 3 nights, not just one night for the career day, but 3
and then
nights.
transportation back and forth from the hotel to Sherman. So you need nothing except show up. And now, these are all chiropractors. If there are any field chiropractors interested in having their students go to Sherman for Lyceum, how can they contact you?
They can contact me via my email address. It's jkersh@sherman.edu.
Awesome.
Great.
And
That's
now,
awesome.
when we go down to Sherman for Lyceum this year, it's coming up when?
It's May 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Okay. When we go down there, what's something special that you're going to do for my students?
The thing about what I've really tried to do since I've taken over the Roar program is any Roar referred student, you're their mentor.
Yeah.
You're their off-campus mentor. I'm a graduate. I've been practicing. I still do practice part-time. I want to be that mentor, like their home away from home. So I really try to make sure that they have all of their questions answered. If they're having any difficulties, they can come to me with those difficulties. And I really try to be their mentor on campus.
Right. I know Bryn and myself both went to Sherman College, and we lived there, so we can actually tell folks what life's like at Sherman College. Now, Bryn has been out of school for 10 or so years.
12.
Not trying
12
to
years
put a
already.
timeline
Okay.
on you, but myself is getting close to that. Now, what's changed since 10 years ago to up to now in Spartanburg, Sparkle City?
Sparkle City has just gotten a lot bigger. There's been a lot of growth in South Carolina as far as different plants that have got BMWs located there now. Michelin is located there now. So there's just been a lot of growth in the city. And even now I live in a part where what probably wasn't there 10 years ago. So that just shows you how much it's grown since you've been there.
Yeah.
And it's even grown when I came back after being in Pennsylvania for 2 years. I couldn't believe all the new stuff. I was like, what happened?
So this is not, you're not going to a southern city where there's nothing there.
Right.
This is more like, for the students, this is more like a college town almost.
We have 7 colleges and universities in
Spartanburg. 7 colleges. And I know the Carolina Panthers have preseason there too,
at Wofford
right?
College. That's pretty fun to go see. I went to that one. So definitely something to do for everybody. If you like hiking and being outdoors, there's that. If you like, going to the games, we have not a professional baseball team. They are professional, but it's like a single A team that plays about 20 minutes away. You can go and catch a game there. So there's lots to do.
And you're not too far from the beach,
No,
right?
we're 2.5 hours, 3 hours from the beach. So you can
To
get
the
there.
viewers at home that are watching, if you have any questions, please use the chat box. Ask Jillian a question about Sherman, about the Roar program, how students can get there, and what it takes to become a chiropractor. I know we have a couple prospective students that are listening to us right now on the other side of the camera. You can't see them, but they're sitting there with eager ears because they want that voucher too to get down there.
I gave them their voucher yesterday, so they're good to go.
And you guys got your lunch tickets too, right?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, so we're gonna have lunch. I know later on.
You're welcome.
We're live at New Beginnings, and they're putting Sherman College has been sponsoring New Beginnings for this particular one, and there's something special going on later on for the students, I believe, too. Ed Cordero is going to be speaking with them, and then tonight there's a couple more things going on the beach. We're having a bonfire, so that's going to be exciting and to be around there.
And if you have any questions, we have a few more minutes with Jillian. If you have a question, go on Twitter, #IFCO, and your questions will pop up for us, and we'll make sure we get them to her and get them answered right here live for you.
Even if there are questions about Lyceum, if there are questions about the Roar program, I can pretty much field all of those questions. So if you do have any, please let me know.
And in the meantime, Jillian has actually a pretty neat story how she got into chiropractic, because she did not start off wanting to be a chiropractor.
Let's hear it. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Most people don't believe it half the time, but both of my parents are pharmacists actually, and I was like, oh, that's a great job. Like, my mom works 3 days a week. We make a pretty nice living. Like, sure, sounds great. So I had thought about, my mom was like, well, you should think about being a chiropractor, and I was like, no, I want to be a pharmacist like you. So I went to to undergrad and I started taking pharmaceutical biochemistry, and I was about halfway through, and I was like, this is not for me. My parents pretty much think that their job is miserable.
And how cool of a pharmacist to say, hey, you should be a chiropractor.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know,
My
that's awesome.
My mom really, I mean, she's gone to a chiropractor for a very long time. And so she was like, oh, I can have a chiropractor in my family. She can adjust me all the time. This is going to be great.
Right.
So I called my mom. Don't forget that I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I think I want to go to chiropractic school. There's one in South Carolina. I said, can we go visit it? And so she's like, sure, let's go do that. So I actually went and visited Life in Sherman in the same trip, and decided that Sherman was for me. And now my mom's mad that she lives so far away from her chiropractor daughter because they still live in Michigan. And so whenever I go home, obviously she gets adjusted. But there had to have been a different way. I saw that. My parents hated their job. And I saw the overprescribing of medications my entire life. Like, that was our dinner conversation.
Right.
And so I knew that there had to be a better way. And so what better way than chiropractic?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I can definitely relate to that story. When I first got out of high school, something happened with my financial aid paperwork for the school, the undergrad school that I was going to go to, and it didn't go through. So they called me up and said, sorry, we messed up on your paperwork, and there's no money for you. You can either pay for it or you can go next semester. So I said, well, I don't have the money to pay for this semester, so I'll go next one. It turned out that I got a job at a pharmacy. It was a home health care company,
right.
And I was just like an equipment person then. But I actually didn't go back to high school. I didn't go back to college right away. I spent 5 or 6 years in that company, and I advanced, kept on moving up, and the pharmacy department saw that I was pretty sharp, so they said, well, would you want to learn how to become a pharmacist, or actually a pharmacy technician? And I said, well, you know, one, I don't have any college experience, and number two, I don't have any pharmacy license, so what do I do? And they said, well, you can do one of two things. You can either work under our license, pharmacy license, or you can go to a technical school and get your pharmacy,
like your
farm tech certification then. And I said, okay, great. What would you like me to do? And they said, well, just work under our license and I'll show you everything to do. So that's what I did. So I spent another couple of years working in the clean room, mixing every medication possible.
I never knew that about you, Frank.
You never knew that, right?
You were a medication mixer.
As a kid, I thought that was so
was.
fun.
A medication mixer, I was killing people.
I mean, but you were literally mixing the medication.
Yeah, I was literally, so any medication that you've done at home, like through IV, I probably made it or mixed it somehow. Yeah. And but what I noticed was patterns, that after a few weeks on service, we would send out this medication, and then we would send out another one.
Later.
And then a few weeks later, we'd send out another one. And it happened consistently over groups of people. And so I asked the pharmacist why that happened. And he told me, he said, well, simple. This medication is going to cause the person to go blind. I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that sounds
And he
great.
said, so we need to send this second medication out to counter that so it doesn't cause the blindness. But it's also going to affect their liver. So this is the third one, and it was like a chain.
It was a cycle.
And that's what happened. That's how these people got on service and stayed on service that whole time, and medicine after medicine after medicine. So I said, are we really helping people or not? And then they asked me at a point where, well, you know, we'd like you to go to pharmacy school, work for the company. We'll pay for it. They were going to pay for my education. Yeah. They were going to send me to Rutgers, which is a good pharmacy school.
Absolutely.
And I said, okay, well, let me think about it. And it was at that point where I stepped into a chiropractic office, and I have a different story for that takes a little time to share. But I learned about chiropractic, and I said, you know, this just fits me. This is my personality. We're not harming folks. We're helping folks. There's literally 0 to no side effects at all. So that's where we came in handy. And that's how I got on my path. So I left that place and moved on to chiropractic, which was a blessing because now I'm arrived here and great life. Yeah. Beautiful life.
And I tell people too, and you've heard me tell people in the office, the best thing that could have ever happened to me was not quitting pharmacy school and switching paths, because I actually love going to work every day. And it really, it's exciting for me.
It's inspiring too. Yeah. So that's great. So Jillian, any last words to share with us before?
Not really, other than if you're interested in becoming a ROAR member, you can go to the sherman.edu website, and then you can go /ROAR, ROAR, and you can sign up to be a ROAR doctor. Really, the only requirements are that we ask for you to do one event a year, whether or not you host a career event, whether or not you go speak. drop a line to us, let us know, and we'll send you the recruiting materials.
Yeah.
We will support you in that manner. I know I dropped you
I want to make sure you said that. I do a lot of stuff with Roar, and they send me the information. They promote it on the website. They give you a press packet that just, here, you send this into the newspaper, and that's it. You don't have to do any writing, anything. You just have to be at your event and host it. And so it's phenomenal. It's so simple, so easy. More chiropractors should do it, and more chiropractors should get involved in the profession and send more students, because I know you guys have students in your office or kids in your office that could become great chiropractors. They just need the opportunity to be experienced and exposed to what our life is.
It's as simple as saying, have you ever thought about being a chiropractor? And literally people are like, no, I haven't, but I should. Like, it's so neat when you start that conversation.
There's a chiropractor here at New Beginnings. Every time there's a New Beginnings, he's here. His name is Ernie Landy. And here's what he does with every single person that walks into his office. You would make a great chiropractor. That's it. That's how he gets people to know, okay, they might be a good chiropractor. Maybe he sees something in me. But what happens is he asks every single person, whether they're old or young, you would make a great chiropractor, and that's it. That's how he did it. So get in that habit of asking people, because you never know who the next Reggie Gold got inspired by somebody, Joe Strauss, and all these other great chiropractors who were sitting right here before you. Somebody turned the light on, the light switch, and that is why we need to do the same thing for these students who might be lost. They have no idea what they want to do. They're going from job to job, and they don't have a profession. They don't have something to inspire them, to make them wake up and feel grateful that they have, and the chiropractic business does that for you. And when the student comes in and you see them, now I have quite a few students who graduated chiropractic college and are field chiropractors. It feels great to have them as a colleague now. And that's what I like about it. When we refer those folks in, we have a tremendous amount of respect for those students who went through the curriculum, because we know what they went through. But I'm also sort of envious because they're getting to go through the curriculum again. And I had such a great time down at Sherman College.
I know, it is a good, and it, you know, one of my favorite times of my life was when I was a student there, and the opportunities that these students have now with the athlete adjusting at SMC, and now we're going into hospice care homes, and they're getting that experience. The amount of opportunities they have is just endless at this point with Dr. Cordero.
So before you go, we have a question from our Twitter audience. All right. So how is Sherman incorporating new technologies in developing young chiropractors?
I know, at least, I'm not necessarily on the curriculum part of that, but because I graduated with some of the professors, I kind of keep up on it. They just got, I think, a subluxation station where they're incorporating that into the analysis and teaching kids, you know, hey, this tool is available. It was donated to the school, and they're being able to use that as far as that goes. We're also getting electronic health records in the health center. We're going to have someone build it from the ground up for us, but they're looking at vendors for that now. So we're really trying to get them, they're going to have to use the EHR when they get into practice soon. So we're trying to get them that experience. They have the digital x-ray also.
Just going to bring it up, digital x-ray.
We're the first chiropractic college on the East Coast to get that. We had that right as I was a student, so it was 2008-ish when we got that. So they incorporate that as well.
Nice.
How about, is there anything that Sherman's doing with social media wise to get out there and get the word out about chiropractic?
We hit Facebook super hard. That's our big one. We also do Twitter. I'm super excited because I came up with this idea to do tweet your picture at Lyceum this year, and I get to repost them. I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
But we're doing the Connect calls every Monday night. You can visit the Sherman.edu website to get information on that. But we have these great chiropractors that are taking time out to do a teleconference, if you will, and you can call in, hear their words, get inspired, and take that with you to practice. Yeah,
we had Danny Knowles on before who sort of figured
developed that program.
And something, the question was about what Sherman is doing for the students to make them great chiropractors. So it just popped into my mind. I don't know if it was the board of Sherman or who it was. I know some chiropractors got together, rented the bus.
The board did.
Rented the bus for 45 students to come up from the school to come up to New Beginnings. That's not technology. That's real chiropractic. That's what it takes to get on fire, great students that make their connections to be wonderful chiropractors afterwards. So for the board to do that and let all these students come up here, that's great.
The Sherman students wanted to be here, and Sherman made a way for that to happen.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're doing special for the students. So like we said before, when Peter Kevorkian was here, give your time, talent, and treasure, one of those or multiple of those, but Sherman does need your help to make sure that it stays on the proper path that it's heading. And it's heading in a great direction. Just before you came in, Ed Cordero was here.
I know,
he gave us a little blip of what he's going to be talking about later on.
I know.
So,
See, I haven't even heard that yet. So you're in the know and I'm not.
Yeah.
We have, you know, obviously Twitter is our way to get the questions out here, but we even have some people on Facebook writing how much they're enjoying this program. So a little shout out to Alan and to Robin.
Oh, hi, Alan.
And, you know, to Craig. So, yay, we're glad you guys are here and watching and listening, kind of being part of the New Beginning experience at home.
Another thing I'm very excited about is there's so many roar doctors here. Like, there's over at least 10 of us, and it's been so great catching up with people and, you know, meeting their students. So many of them. You've brought 2 students, so, and then Marlene will be here later, one of your students. So it's just great to have the energy that we do
3
here.
more on their way. They just didn't make it to your table yet.
Oh,
so,
yay, that's exciting.
Yeah, so we have 5 right now from the office who's going to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they need to come see me so I can get
And there's a
I told
prospective
them to
student
stop
right
by.
there taking a picture of us. So wave.
There's 2 students right there. Yeah. All right, Jillian. So great. Thanks for stopping by the program.
Thank you for having me.
Great information. I love Roar and being a Roar member.
Let's all just roar together. 1, 2, 3.
Roar!